Metod Horjak, hi, welcome to our podcast Blue Magics 777. Thank you for being our guest. You are a lifelong student of sports science. Your passion is helping people with spine issues. You are a coach at Spine Evolution, that's your own company, and you have over 30 years of experience. And for the beginning, I would like you to introduce yourself a little bit about your background and how did you start it, and then we'll go to other topics. So, please.
Okay. Thank you guys for opportunity to be here. I really appreciate it. Small correction. Spine Evolution, from back pain to freedom, is my Facebook page.
Okay.
Not name of the company, just to get the facts straight.
Okay.
You guys sent me questions to review, and one of them was, who am I, right? And you guys got me thinking. Seemingly unrelated to my work in field of spine rehab, is that I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a guy who loves the sport, loves the nature, loves to fiddle around the house, and I'm finding myself in these different roles. I'm also a coach, I'm also a mechanical engineer. But regarding my work with spine challenged clients is basically the combination of all those that just simply was brought to me through the life, that I was kind of forced to learn the basics. We talked before about that my spine was also injured a lot of times. So a combination of all these roles and learning the basics, now it's already been 30 years. It's what has enabled me to help people with some complex spine issues. And also being able to help them online, which is not the best way to work, but it is pretty common work now post the corona. The name it's displayed in this Zoom call is holistic for you, all right? So if we use artificial intelligence when we have a back issue or neck issue or whatever spine related issue is, chances are, really high chances are, you are not getting the solution by using artificial intelligence. Why? Because basics are not commonly known and they are not online in abundance. And one of them is that people don't get holistic approach specific to them because we are extremely different. We may fall in category of having same character. Some people are too brave, some people are too tense, they're scared of everything, they're tense all the time. Some people are too brave and they damage themselves doing too much, too fast, too soon. But where my work lies is in the field of mechanics. When I say mechanics, that's the first field that describes postures, loads, exercises, any activity, resting positions, how you sleep, how you get out of the bed. Everything connecting to the body is what in world of spine rehab we call mechanics. Then we have nutrition, which is extremely important field also. And the third one, which comes in the play usually the last, but it's the most important, because if we achieve really good mechanical progress, people will not keep it if they don't have enough strong foundation, mentally, emotionally. We can call all these together energetical. I was talking about people who are too brave, right? I have basically two T-shirts which were gifts from my clients. And one of them is, I don't know if you guys can see that, but that's the Foreign Legion sign, right?
Okay.
So you guys probably heard about Foreign Legion.
Yeah.
Well, this guy who sent me the T-shirt, you wouldn't believe, his parachute didn't open for 2 times. So he was stopped by the branches. Luckily, both times when he jumped out of the airplane. But imagine how his spine looks like. But did we do successful rehab with this person? Yes, we did. But he messed it all up because he was too brave doing. He loaded his spine with too much physical activity too soon. So that's the type of the person that it's very common. Like about 50% of the people immediately when they stop feeling pain, they get too brave. And then you have the other side of the spectrum, people who are extremely tense. So I worked with a doctor, and you would be surprised why I work with the doctors, but usually they are not trained in the basics of the spine rehab. We can discuss this later, but when they are injured, they are the same as everybody else. They are not prone to surgery, so they try to exploit everything non-invasive, non-surgically before. But there was one doctor who contacted me and said, why are the people with the same issues that I'm having, with the same similar MRI picture that I'm having, they get well in matter, they get better, or they rehab completely in a matter of months, or at least in a year or so. And I'm having my issue 3 years and I'm doing nothing to make this condition worse. I should heal, because body has this natural ability to heal. Like about 98% of the time, the surgery makes no sense. So I asked this doctor, I said, put your hands on you, because we're talking online like we are today. I said, squeeze, and said, yeah. I said, what do you feel? He said, I feel I'm pretty dense, pretty tight. I said, that's your issue. You're dense and tight all the time because you're scared to do something wrong. Now you see, they may have the same injury, but they we might do even same mechanical rehab. But one needs to relax, so he needs to let go of his anxiety and fear. And my mistake with this guy, Foreign Legion guy, was that we became friends, and I did not press him hard enough psychologically to tell him, look, if you're gonna mess these things up for the third or fourth time, you're gonna end up on the wheelchair. So now you see, people are different, but if the people have 2 same mechanical issues, which is extremely rare, we have all sorts of different combinations and different conditions with the same diagnosis. But if I got the 2 guys, I might do with the same mechanical condition, I might do 70% of the rehab the same, the 30% will be different. At the end, it will be completely different, because in the end we'll move more towards energetical, psychological approaches, when I need to encourage one person, and I need to basically press against the wall, be his dragon, be his monster, make him cry. I don't know if I talk too much about
Metod, it's okay, it's okay. I just really thank you for, like, we went to how you're dealing with the injuries already, but I would like to introduce you a little bit how, because we talked about this before, and I think it's I would like to show your background, how actually you started it, and maybe just what kind of clients you have, and how actually, because like you mentioned, you studied a couple of universities, and but like you work with the athletes, you work with the regular people and things like that. So maybe just a little bit about your background and how actually this path, why did you start it, and how
great
so
great question. I'm gonna start at the beginning and then fast forward to a couple of years back, so it will not be too long. Basically, it started in a mother's womb. I have a twin brother, so we were both born crooked. So I was born with scoliosis. I was born asymmetric. Then, if I fast forward like 15 years, you guys remember physical education and the grades for physical education and the tests, right? We were hanging on the bar and do these tests, which are great, by the way. But for me, all the girls in the class were better than me, right? So I started to exercise because I was so ashamed, but basically everything I did was wrong. So before my 30s, I already had a lot of spine-related issues. Like at the worst, my whole back would be locked up tight, everything would be cramping, muscle twitching. Before my 30s, I had issues like an old person. I would have issues with my bowel control. So some pretty serious issues that went totally undiagnosed. So one of the things I experienced was pretty bad brain concussion, and everybody was dealing with my brain. Nobody was dealing with my neck, with thoracic, and so on. But because I was so motivated in training, in sport, and exercise, at the same time had mechanical issues. I was so passionate about continue this path despite my injuries, but all my joints were wrecked. The spine was a wreck. I could not do anything. I could not pick up something from the floor. I could not hold the phone. I was living with pain, so I was forced to study these things formally and informally. So I went through some educations at the coach. The last one was upgrades that was done inside our Olympic committee, like 1 year of upgrades. I started but not finished the post-degree study in the sports science. By the way, I finished the first year with flying colors, but then my engineering jobs took me to Germany, so I didn't follow up on that. I studied Dr. McGill's work a lot, went to his educations, but if we speak about the mechanics, I learned and optimized a lot of his methods. And by the way, he's the guy, arguably the best guy in the world for back issues. And when he went to study spine biomechanics, he was forced to study 1 year of mechanical engineering, because being mechanical engineer is what helps me understand mechanics of the spine greatly. So if we fast forward to 4 years ago, my son was diagnosed by cancer. And when I was spending time in the hospital with him, and when things were already, when we were already seeing the light in the end of the tunnel, I was stable enough to start working online. Because what will you do? You're living in isolation. There was also Corona, so there was double isolation. Everybody was working online. I knew my engineering job will not pay the bills when I get out of the hospital, because there was another family member coming. I'm a father of 3 kids. So I started my work online from the hospital, and after 2 months and a half, I was just surprised about results of the people, because as you know, we Slovenians are a very small country. I was working more or less only with Slovenians, and when I started to work internationally, with each heavy case, and also working with people who you could consider high ticket, top-notch clients. Like one of the guys I rehabilitated is a Google IT engineer. I had the country singer, some guitar playing from Hollywood, and so on. People from all walks of life, right? And I saw that the combination of all educations, formal and informal, basically prepared me to do this work. Also, I started working online with some Slovenians from, you know, Tolmin, it's far away from the capital, not far away in distance, but the road is really, there are a lot of hills in Slovenia, right? So I started working online even before Corona. So I really touched the ground running, and I found out that I really enjoy working internationally, and this also gave me and is giving me a sense of freedom to be who am I, because there is a international, there's a huge number of people that you can get in contact with, and I sincerely provide people with free information inside my group, and I sincerely also tell them, if you feel you can work with me, let's work together. If you're not a good match, go for the free stuff in the group. There is a lot of knowledge there. That gives me a sense of freedom and also a sense of purpose, because spine is life. If you guys didn't have serious issues with the spine, like serious back pain, mother cannot be mother, a soldier cannot be soldier. Yeah. The Google IT engineer, if you have a pressure on the spinal cord, which is just extension of the brain, your brain doesn't work. So he was facing possible loss of his job. But, and by the way, this guy had neck herniations when the soft part, the gel of the disc comes out of the disc. Basically, that's broken disc, flat tire disc, right? Neck herniation, thoracic herniation, lumbar herniation. So, and in a couple of weeks, he was out of the pain, and now he regained his brain power. He accessed his focus, his concentration. He accessed what I call his functional IQ. Now he found out some bugs in Google space recognition. So not only he kept his job, they gave him a raise. So he moved from the Manhattan to work to Hawaii. So we did some sessions from Hawaii. Basically, in his group, you can see him climbing a mountain in Hawaii when he posted his testimonial. So yeah, my son having cancer was a blessing in disguise, because I would just keep on working here in Slovenia, not going abroad, not going head to head with the big dogs in the world of spine rehab. So I'm just grateful, first of all, that my son is healthy. When you ask me who am I, first I thought I'm the guy who gets interrupted with the kids a lot. So he's healthy, pain in the bottom sometimes. And I'm grateful that I was kicked out of the comfort zone, and that I'm qualified and able to do my dream job, basically. And when we talk about this energetic or spiritual realm, you had Urshka on the podcast, right? She's one of my mentors. And when I asked myself, like 10 years ago, what should I do to make my life better? What if I would be really teachable? Later that night, I had a dream when she appeared in my dream really clearly said, Metod, you need to go international. But I didn't do anything about it at the time, and I needed my son basically to kick me in the butt, and get me going. Yeah, so that was a little bit long story how I came to work in the field of spine rehab.
Metod,
yeah, but
it's great. It's great because sorry that you showed us, you told us about your background, because I think it's important that people understand why and who you are, because from my personal experience, the best people in their field usually are not from that field. It makes sense. They were put in that path. So that's why it was really important for me that you told us this story that you told us on our coffee meeting, Zoom coffee meeting. So people understand where you're coming from, you know. So Tomasz, I know you have several questions. Please.
I mean, it's you make good ground now with this remark, because you're approaching to help people basically uniquely. Every person is different, every person is unique, although the basics are let's say the same, but the person is different. So also your name of approach is holistic for you. You encompass the more levels, not only mechanical, not only energetical. This is the part where I see importance.
What I would like to point out is that I don't do a whole work by myself. I always point people to the right person also. I'm not God. I don't know everything. But I'm a guy who cares sincerely about the result of the people that I'm working with. Like I put this book behind me by a reason. Sometimes I don't demand this from people, of course, but a lot of times I get gifts from the client. So in this paper is written, "Thank you for sharing your wisdom." That's from the client from the Washington. She's also IT engineer. And she sent me a book about pain triggers, and she sent Mechano Legos for my kids. And I'm not materialistic guy. Like, I appreciate gifts, but I can live without them totally. But people do not send gifts if, like, this is the sign of appreciation for me. And when we talked about basic principles being the same for everybody, imagine, like, we have different body structure, right? And if you look at the animal world or the world of the nature, like, we can see the stone, right? We can take the stone and we can take a bird. They live in the universe with the same principles of physics. You throw the stone, you can throw it really hard. It will fly for some time and then it will drop. The bird will fly, or there will be a right kind of direction and velocity of the wind, and the bird can hover. Stones usually don't hover. If they hover, you're in trouble because you're in the tornado or something. They don't really hover, they fly, right? In the tornado. But if I would not have testimonials from people, and if my marketing would be less ethical, meaning just do these 3 magical stretches, or it's all in your head, you just need to meditate. You just need to make your core stronger, which are all myths. You just need to be more flexible. You just need to go for a massage. You just need to go swim, right? We have different pain triggers. Let's say your spine is intolerant to twisting. Now, if you go swim and you swim crawl and you twist your body, you will trigger your pain. You will make it worse by swimming. If your trigger is extension, going back with your spine, now you swim the breaststroke, and now you take a breath and exhale, inhale, and extend your spine. You'll make your pain worse So it's not about swimming, it's which technique you use. And then what kind of the technique of breaststroke may be the best? Maybe for you the best is the backstroke. But people are extremely different mechanically, but we are also different energetically. For example, if the person is not grounded, also if their level of the trust is very low. Here I need to mention a little bit dark topic. It's suicide. A lot of the people with serious back issues are suicidal. Some admit that off the bat, straightforward, when we begin to work. Some they admit that later on when they are already good. They said, yeah, I had the suicidal thoughts. So that's very typical in why I told you I'm a husband and father, right? And for that you need to be able to make some midnight motion action, making love, whatever you call it. That's all spine related. So people with serious back issues, if they're intimate with their partner, they can be in great pain, bedridden, wheelchair, like for months. Some people not even able to masturbate. So you see how we are all stripped naked. Every function is taken away from people. Ability to think. By the way, brain shrinks. If you have 6 months of serious chronic pain, your brain shrinks 5% or more. Right? Every function is connected to the spine, and now people think, I tried massage, I tried yoga, I tried exercise, I tried physical therapy, I tried acupuncture, I tried dry cupping, I tried all sorts of drugs. Some people, they go to ayahuasca trip, they still not getting better. I've seen the shamans, right? And they did not experience the holistic for them approach. They still did the cookie cutters, what they found on the internet, what people do. And then just think, okay, they maybe had a surgery or two already. There is only one lady in the group, she just went for her 3rd surgery, and she's a Pilates teacher, by the way. So I did Pilates, right? And now when you think these thoughts and you have intention is much higher category of thought, emotion, perspective that you have serious intention of taking your life, you have serious intention not accepting your life as it is, you cut yourself energetically, right? So now your spine the whole body is not getting, rehabilitating so fast. Even McGill, our grandfather of spine rehab, like 95% of any spine study that actually makes the difference, it's useful, that it counts, it's a sincere, sound study is made by him and his team, right? And he says himself, I do not understand these alternative approaches, but I use them and I get practical results for myself. And at the same time, he said, I don't understand why some people with the same mechanical issues rehab so fast, like a matter of weeks, and some people take years, even decades. And this is what I notice when people are very different energetically. We might have the same mechanical approach for them if they have the same mechanical issue, but some people, they are rare, but they just do not react to anything. They work with Miguel personally, they work with me, they work with all sorts top experts. They just don't rehab because they need to fix, they need to do stuff on this area, which is one of the most misinterpreted area. Also, like mechanics are getting misinterpreted. For example,
sorry to interrupt you. I would just like to ask you. So basically, if I understand correctly, it's like, so you have 2 people with the same injury, but the one that, let's say, looks at the life more positively or with intention to heal it, he will heal it faster. Is that correct, what you just pretty much said? Or in general,
Yes.
or with a more positive, healthy way of looking on life? Or
I would not go with word positive because it has its association. Just think positive.
Yeah.
If you're burned out, if you are without energy, if everything you feel and experience is just pain, lack of things, lack of function, lack of energy, you lost your job, and now somebody comes and say you just need to think positive. Well, this guy who said just think positive, he's lucky this guy didn't shoot him, probably, right? And it's about genuinely feeling trust, not hope. Trust, believing, thinking, feeling, seeing, feeling that you getting better is a real doable option. And having energy, feeling energy inside your body. If we talk about, if you look into classical science, anything that's going on in your body, your immune system is directly correlated to the level of energy, ATP molecules that we have. Directly, just physiological fact. How fast people age. Like somebody that's burned out, he's already old. He's already aging fast. Somebody with a lot of energy, he's basically a young person. We can see these kids have a lot of energy, unless there is something wrong with them. So anything, growing hair, growing nails, skin, getting the waste out of the body requires energy. Our digestive system contracts with the rings, and this is muscle contraction in our intestines, right? It requires energy. So having enough energy and having real trust, also being in nature, is something that will speed up every recovery. Maybe you remember our great alpinist Tomáš Humar, who got totally broken apart. He fell like from first level down to the basement level, breaking, shattering a lot of bones in his body, and he rehabbed, right? He rehabbed completely, went back to Himalaya, where he finally met his end, right? But I see a lot of people breaking, not a lot, but a lot of these people that break every single bone in their body. Because I come from one of my background is sports climbing, rock climbing. So you have quite big accidents there sometimes, right? People break their spine several times. The rib cage is shattered. Internal organs are torn apart. All bones are broken on several places. Ligaments are torn, tendons are torn, muscles are torn, and these people rehab completely, right? Not all of them, but if they have this vision and they have energy to do it, they will find a way to rehab, and that's usually surprise. That usually comes with big surprise to doctor, because I've seen so many people that had prediction you will stay on the wheelchair for your life. Like wheelchair is how you will move now. So yeah, I was a bit long again, but there is a real mechanics about energy, and having not a lot of being grounded, being in nature, having a lot of energy, enough energy, and have this genuine trust that stems from this subconscious. It's not I'm going to read positive books. Yeah, you need to read positive books. You need to watch positive podcasts like your podcast is. You need to search out for information, but then works needs to be done to what I call to bring people out of the hole. Right? People fell into the hole, this abyss of darkness, the hell. I experienced that in the hospital, you know. My kid had cancer, all his bones. That was a secondary tumors, not it was not really bright situation. Yeah, but I got a little bit lost. Yeah,
no, it's okay, because we're gonna do a series of 40 minutes podcast with you. I would really like to leave this energy and what you just started or finished in the end. I would really like to touch it on our second meeting, second time, because I'm really interested personally in this view that you just started it. So for today, I would really like to thank you for your time. And
thank you.
We'll see you soon. And we have many other questions that they just opened from today's session. So for today, I would really like to thank you, and I will see you soon again.
Yeah, looking forward to.